Okay, everybody. Got my motor on here. Got everything hooked up the right way. She runs. Was doing a test run to see that it started to build pressure. And while it would run and no issues, no breaker pops or anything like that, which I did have an issue where my breaker was popping and I saw I'd hooked up my capacitors wrong. So I fixed that and then everything worked fine. But yeah, no pressure was building. So studied this for a minute. Went back to my architectural diagrams here. And I couldn't really put together where the problem was. And I kept going through here, and I think I found it. At least to me, it makes sense. Blah, blah, blah. And again, these are on the web. You can find them. But let me get through here. So this plumbing diagram is the one that gave me my clue. So here's the pump, and you can see that the head, these points are closest to the flywheel and stuff here. And on mine, they're nearest to me, not closest to the flywheel. So it looks like I inadvertently, at some point during this assembly, flipped this head the wrong way. So that's why my pressure is not building up. So at this point, well, it's disappointing. I'm just gonna take an X-Acto knife and go along here, break the paint bead. Because remember, I painted this all together, right? Pull the bolts, flip the head, and put it back, and then I'll touch it up with paint and see if we get pressure build. So my bad, but something you guys should check. I'll try to go back and edit the video that I've already posted and put on there to watch all the video before you do this, so you guys don't make the same mistake I did. But if you look at this drawing, and this is a typical drawing, this is actually on the plumbing guide where I was able to pick this up. You can clearly see that those are really close to that side. And on mine, I've got it really close to my side. So I have flipped the head. The question is, did I flip just this section or did I flip the entire thing 180 degrees? And I'm gonna have to open it up to see where I did that and made my error in putting this back together. Easy enough to fix, but you know, just disconcerting that it is at this point. So I'm gonna do that now and then put back together, and we'll see if we get pressure. And then we can test the tank and see that we don't have our leak anymore in the tank in this foot down here. And if so, then we'll be ready to put the badges on. I'll do a little paint touch up and we'll be ready to rock and roll. So learn from my mistakes, guys. Thanks. Okay, guys. So, got my head turned around. You remember, this head was flipped 180 degrees. Totally my fault. Didn't look at the schematics close enough. So, I had to scrape off the old gaskets. Luckily, the set I bought had 2 sets of gaskets in it. So I just put them back on there, rebolted the head down. I touched it up with a little bit of paint. I've just finished going through and put new nylon on here. Got my tube set up right. I also, down here, if you remember, I had a big long extension. I finally decided to go out and fix it. So went out and got myself a tap, 1/4 inch NTP tap, and just tapped that So now that can go directly in there and be the right size. I've just powered it up and took her up right there to 20 pounds. And I've been down here on the ground listening around both these feet. Don't hear any leaks. So that's an awesome thing. So we're gonna take her up then to probably 30, 40 pounds. Give it probably 5-10 minutes between, and I'll just work my way up to the 125 pounds, I think is the max PSI here. So I'll be right in there where it'll cut off. But I'll go up in like increments of 20 pounds just to test the case, make sure we don't have any issues. And if that's the case, then we're done and the compressor is fine. I've been tinkering around. I've got a 220 back there for my welder. I've been tinkering around with the idea of rewiring this for 220. I've also been tinkering around with just building a stand and putting rollers on it, which I think I'll do and keep it 120. That'll give me a little bit more mobility in the shop. But let's see. Let's not get the cart before the horse here. And we'll slowly step our way up. Next stop, 40 pounds. And here we go, 40 pounds. We'll give it about 5 minutes here. Let's see if it sinks. Okay, 5 minutes later, we're still at 40 pounds. We'll take it up to 60. And 60. Okay, here at 80 pounds, it looks like I've lost a little. So I don't know if I just shut it off a little bit too soon. I just went around and listened to all of the possibilities of leaks, and I'm not hearing anything. So I'm gonna assume that everything's all right and maybe take it up to 100 here. Okay, we're clearly right at 100. Hey Google, set timer 5 minutes, and we'll come back and see if it's dropped any. Okay, so it looks like just maybe one needle mark. So that may be from these fittings, because I just kind of chalked them on there. I did not wrap them. So if it passed the pressure test, I'll probably tear it down and wrap this side. This side I did wrap, so I know it's good. Got awesome suction going in here. So now we will take it all the way up. 125 is the top pressure here. And we'll let set for 5 minutes. Okay, so went to turn it on there after I cut you off and I get nothing. Just checked my outlet up here and my breakers up there. And that's all looking good. Feeling the engine to see if anything is just unbelievably warm or hot on here. And it feels nice and cool. So I'm gonna have to see what's going on. And I'll just leave the pressure in there and let it bake. Right now we are at, yeah, same place, just one tick below 100. So, fun. Okay, found my issue, guys. Got out my good multimeter because I still wasn't getting anything. I opened up over here. My first thought was that one of the nuts in there had come loose. So I took that off, double checked. Dope. Took off my top here. This is the line going to the wall, or my extension cord here. The bottom set here had 120 volt across them when it was plugged in, which is awesome. What you want, this is off, and then I would flip it down and no 120 volts here. What it ended up being, let me get my screwdriver here. This switch in here, you can see there's, let me get my, I don't know if there's an easy way to do this. The switch in there, the upper top's up there, that when this spring comes back, it pops these up, which contact these and completes the circuit. And there's a little black tab right on top there that you will see it pops up and clicks. And then when you click this to auto, that should automatically click down. And it wasn't. So I just needed to play around. I ended up tightening this screw about 1/4 of a turn. And now she jumps in. So I think we're fine. I'll buckle it back up. We'll take her back up to 100 PSI and finish the test. And okay guys, here we are, 125 pounds, top pressure. So I think I will, I want to tighten this belt up a little bit, so I need to loosen these nuts. Put a block of wood in here or something, put some pressure against it and then tighten it. It's really a two-man job, so when my son comes over, I'll probably do that. But for the most part, I think I am done with this Emglo restoration. Like I said, I'm gonna get some steel, I think, and just take some L and make a little stand for it instead of using that moving dolly. And that'll also allow me to maybe do a pole or something up here with a little U-hook to put some air hose around so that when I roll it around, I've got what I need with me. Maybe 1 or 2 of my air tools, but I think she turned out really good. I do not hear, if we get down here, and you listen, you hear nothing, absolutely nothing. I do want to take these off and do the Teflon tape, just because that's the right thing to do. And that's probably where my itsy bit of air leak is coming from, or from the pressure valve right here. That's real common. But I hope you guys enjoyed this really too long of a journey down rebuilding this Emglo. It does look like the tank and everything's gonna work out great. And I'm still not sure, you know, with looking, I spent a lot of time looking at 60-gallon tanks on Craigslist, and next time I see one that comes up that's a good price, I may snag it, just because I never seem to have enough air, you know, for my little sandblaster. This works, but it runs constantly to keep up. But yeah, she should be good to go for another 10 years. The pump longer than that. It's really dependent on how long till we get a major unrepairable link in this tank. But that's where we're at for today, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and best wishes with your next project. Okay, everybody, just want to give one last show of the air compressor. I've redone the side of the plumbing here. I've got my gauges all together. So this is straight out, which would be 120. This is my main tank pressure. Here's my on off, so it's right there. Here's my regulator for out to my tools. Got this all plumbed, used tape everywhere, so we should be good to go. I've also forgotten the last one, but I went ahead and put on my badges. So she is an official Emglo now. And that is the end of that. Thanks for watching, guys.